show. This is Katie. I'm your host. It is the 13th of April at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. I hope you guys are well. We are live. I want to let you know we're over in the chat room, and you can find it by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number 2radio.com. Click on the chat button, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. Easy enough to find, right? And I'm also live streaming this event in a couple of different places. You can find it over at on YouTube or on Facebook under Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic. So easy enough to find. And I'd love to see you in either place. But I will tell you that I'm going to read cards from all my colleagues today. So it's kind of a fun one to be in the chat room for, or in the live stream for, so that you can see the cards, But whatever. You do you. Oh, you guys, how are you doing? Last week, we had just kind of come off of a roller coastery week of anxiety and stress and just some pretty chaotic energy. And I think this last week has been better by and large, but it's just we've been in a weird time. I actually really liked the energy of this new moon that we had on Sunday, the new moon in Aries. I thought it felt good, felt like fresh beginnings and, all of that jazz. So I don't know. I hope you guys are feeling a little better. I am feeling a lot more energetic than I have in a few weeks, and which is nice, Matea is coming home for a 10-day visit starting tomorrow. So I've been trying to get her room ready. What I didn't know about being, having my kids move out as they, became adults was that I was going to feel the need to take over all of their bedrooms with all of my own projects. So she doesn't have a bedroom here anymore because it's my office and I love it. But Micah's bedroom should be the kid bedroom, but it's also my resin studio. So anyway, I'm out of control. I know. I told Mars once, she goes, I'm going to turn her bedroom into the jungle room and get a monkey. I'm not. I'm really not. But I've wanted a monkey since I was little. I really have. However, I do not want a monkey. First of all, people acquire monkeys through a lot of questionable means, and is it really okay? And also, my God, how much more tied down can I be? I already have 2 pigs that need constant care. So anyway, I'm just teasing. There's no monkey in my future. When I was a little girl, I wanted a monkey so bad that I would cry about it. And my mom would always be like, what the what? You can't have a monkey. But I wanted one terribly. I know. Completely weird. I get it. I can't help it. It's who I am. Let's see. I'm going to just jump into the chat room here really quick. Hi, Maureen, Terry, Lillian, Renee, Sid, Pamela, Rebecca. Hey, everybody. Glad to see you here. I am keeping an eye on both chats, though. So if you're commenting on YouTube or on Facebook Live, I'm definitely seeing that as well. So it is the day where I read from all of the decks of my colleagues. So I have Christie's Kindred Spirits deck. I have the illustrious Mo Tarot. I have Sweary Spirituality, both decks from Miss Kelly McLean. Oh, I made a mistake. How embarrassing. Okay, because I was holding them up in the live stream. If you're listening, you don't know I made a mistake. This is not the Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. This is Keisha Angels Connecting to the Universe deck. Good Lord. This is the Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. They actually have a similar back, right? I mean, not really, but I'll try to defend my mistake. I have my deck, the Ground Bless, Protect, and Move deck, and I have Angie's newest deck, the Gratitude Oracle. This is the back of it. You guys, this deck is stunning. It is phenomenal. I could literally just take a whole show showing you every single card, just so we could all ooh and ah over them. I won't because that seems like really boring radio. But seriously, it's on Amazon by Angela Hartfield, our own one two listens, Angela Hartfield. It is phenomenal. I can't say it enough. So anyway, go get you one. It just barely came out last week. We received ours on Wednesday. So some of you saw some of them because I read with them on Read Me with Katie and Kelly last week, which, by the way, we live streamed for the first time. And it was super fun. We're going to keep that up. It was great. So if you missed it, you want to see that. Did you want to see Kelly's smiling face? Yes, I know you do. Because she's gorgeous and hilarious, and we have so much fun together. All righty. Well, on that note, let's keep a moving. So let's talk about, let's see. Oh, Sid says your happy voice seems to have a little more sparkle today. I think so, Sid. I do. I think I've been in a bit of a flare, an RA flare, and I think it's kind of starting to, I think it's shifting, you know? So yeah, it's good. So every once in a while, I try and take less calcium to see if I can get away with taking less calcium. I don't know, every 6 months or so, I kind of get in this rebellious stage where I'm like, I don't need all this calcium. This is ridiculous. I'm not taking. Yeah, turns out I need it. So the symptoms of low calcium start with your lips feeling like they're buzzing, kind of like they're asleep, and your face feeling like it's asleep. And for me, my eyebrows feeling like they're asleep. If you can imagine uh, even having that feeling or what it would feel like, that's kind of what it feels like for me. And then you get cramps in your legs and your ribs. And anyway, that's kind of how it progresses. So last week, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of taking all this calcium. My stomach is sick of it. I'm just going to start taking half a dose at night and see what happens. Yep, I still need it. Question answered. Now I know. I know. Dumb. We're just rebellious, though, aren't we? I think is by human nature. We get rebellious. I rebel against myself more than anything else, and mostly Scott. But you know how it is. He is killing me in this house right now. I have to tell you. So he has plants that thrive on carbon dioxide. And so he's always fermenting something so that it will bubble because he makes wine anyway. So he's always just making more, like fermenting something to create more carbon dioxide in his greenhouse to help his plants grow. And the plants love it and they go crazy. But then he's got all of this fermented stuff that he runs through his still to, to distill off the alcohol that we absolutely never drink because we're scared to death of it because it is like the proof is like, no, you just, it's campfire fuel, really. But anyway, he's been distilling that stuff in this house for 2 days now. And you guys, my house smells like a rotten bread store from hell. I can't even. I have windows open. I have the diffusers going. I'm hiding in my office. It is the worst. Anyway, that's all. So Scott's on my list right now because what the hell? Gross. Anyway, we're not speaking. We actually are. He just told me I'm in trouble. Oh well. Anyway, so if you're wondering what's going in, what my house smells like today, that's what the worst. That's what it smells like. The worst. Okay. Let's take a. He says it's about to smell like regret. I'm not afraid. You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of Mars' game today. She has a game a little later today, a softball game, and it is so windy. Last Thursday, we sat through 35-mile-an-hour winds for a softball game. Seriously. It wasn't all 35. It was like 20 with 35, 40-mile-an-hour gusts, and it was misery. But I discovered a product I want to share with you guys because it really helped. So I'm going to tell you about I'm going to tell you about Jade Bloom's lavender rub. It's their lavender salve. Sorry, I'm just pulling it up so I can share it with you guys. Oh, good Lord. Someone has to learn how to internet so that they can do these things. Okay. Oh, all right. It's Jade Bloom's lavender salve. And it's a little glass jar of lavender in, like a healing salve. And it's amazing. So I wanted to share it with you guys because it has really helped my face because this spring I have been sunburned a few times. I've been windburned. That's the worst. My face and my lips have been windburned from sitting out in these infernal games with all of this weather. And it's killing me. So anyway, I wanted to share it with you guys because if you have skin stuff happening, this really, really helps. So I'm putting a link in both chat rooms and you can find it over at jadebloom.com as well. So it's one of their in-house blends, but oh my gosh, I've used it on my lips and on my face, like right at my hairline. I've gotten burned and then windburned and peeled and oh, so awful. And then I burned my finger on Sunday making bacon or on Friday. I don't know. The days blend together. Yeah, I burned my finger bad on bacon. And anyway, I used this salve on it and it took all the heat out of it, all the burn out of it. So anyway, I just wanted to share it with you guys in case you need something healing for your skin. I've just been putting it like in my nose and my cheeks where they got burned and my lips and my hairline before I go to bed. And you're kind of a greasy mess, but it doesn't matter. And it has absolutely healed my skin. I'm in much better shape than I was even like 3 days ago. So anyway, in case you're looking for something for skin damage, this really, really helped me. So FYI, now you know. Okay, let's take a look at Luminous Magazine. I put a link in the chat room, but you can also find it by heading over to 12radio.com and clicking on the chat button. No, what am I doing? Boy, that becomes automatic, doesn't it? Yikes. If you, that's awful. If you are not in the chat, head over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Luminous Magazine button. There you go. Get your shit together. Here we go. Okay. And here we go. I picked the cover this week, well, because it's gorgeous. The plants, the tea, the antique spoons. Yeah, I love it. Maybe I'll leave it that cover forever. I won't, but I love that. It's just something about that really grabbed me. So I called the magazine this week the Blowing in the Wind edition. Why? Well, partly because that song's been in my head for days, because we're blowing in the wind around here more than anything, I imagine. But I was also thinking about it in the context of every so often, some of these iconic peace protest songs, I think, could use a bit of another verse. And I was thinking right now about the song Blowing in the Wind and the Derek Chauvin trial. And, someone that's more gifted than me probably ought to write us another verse of it because this would be a good time for it. Seems like in some ways, the more we change, the more we stay the same or we evolve, but the same problems keep coming back to it. I don't know. But it's what's in my heart this week. So in my musings, I also talked about it. I talked about the writing of this song. So there actually was a song that was written by former slaves that had fled to Canada that had a similar tone to it. And some people feel like that's where the inspiration for it came from, Dylan. I read today, I was trying to track that down. Like, is it true? Is it not true? There was an article that he said something about that He found some similarities. He didn't actually say that this was the muse for it, but maybe it was. I don't know. Dylan never set out to be a protester. He never set out to be a social justice warrior. When he first hit the music scene as a teenager, he wasn't. And then he had a girlfriend that was deeply involved in social justice, and she kind of helped shape him and change his outlook, and I think kind of helped him see that as a public figure that he could help to enact some change. And so about this song, he initially said that it's not a peace protest song. He said he's never written a protest song, and yet this is what he said. He said, "There ain't too much I can say about this song, except that the answer is blowing in the wind. It ain't in no book or movie or TV show or discussion group. Man, it's in the wind, and it's blowing in the wind. Too many of these hip people are telling me where the answer is, but oh, I won't believe that. I still say it's in the wind, and just like a restless piece of paper, it's got to come down some. But the only trouble is that no one picks up the answer when it comes down, so not too many people get to see and know, and then it flies away. I still say that some of the biggest criminals are those that turn their heads away when they see wrong and know it's wrong. I'm only 21 years old, and I know that there's been too many wars. You people over 21, you're older and smarter." I mean, that was his assumption. But, basically what he's saying is, what is the answer? What is the answer to the social injustices? What is the answer to creating peace? Is it in the wind? Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. I don't know. But I've always really loved this song. So, Blowing in the Wind, of course, has been performed by and recorded by hundreds of different artists over the years, but the Dylan original is pretty dang tough to beat. However, I have always loved the Joan Baez version and the Peter, Paul, and Mary version. So I included all three so that you could listen to your favorite or all three of them if that strikes your fancy. But for me, I love them all, honestly. I listened to the Peter, Paul, and Mary this morning in and watched the video of it and I realized I don't think I've ever seen them perform that song, like what seen a video of them performing that song. It's always just been, listening. And that was a treat, actually. I adore them. And Mary has the most hauntingly beautiful voice ever, but I don't think I've ever seen her sing before. Man, that got me. Really got me. Gorgeous. So that was what I was thinking about, what was in my heart this morning. Lillian said, I love Dylan singing it. Thanks for posting his version. You can't really beat the original, I mean, you can come pretty close. I really, really love Joan Baez and pretty much every single thing she's ever done. But there's also some versions out there of them singing it together, Joan and Bob, and that is amazing as well. So anyway, that was my musing this week. In Bitch Scopes this week, Kelly says there's a definite emphasis on communication, which I think is really important for us to note, because when there's a big emphasis on communication, you've got to be really clean with yours, right? Did you guys see that our beloved Melissa Caprio, former host here at 12 Radio and who writes in Luminous Magazine, that she had Don Miguel Ruiz on her program last week? If you didn't, go find it and listen to it. It is brilliant. Don Miguel Ruiz is the author of the Four Agreements. And you guys know how much I love the Four Agreements. I've talked about it so many times. And one of the Four Agreements is I will be impeccable with my word. And I think this week that is an agreement that we have to be really careful to apply. Meaning, be careful. Don't let your words run away from you. Don't gossip. Don't say things to people that you would regret later or about people that you would regret later. Be really careful at work not to fall into workplace drama, workplace gossip. That could really come back and bite you in the end. And with important communication, do not do it via electronic means. Don't text something that should be said to face or in at least a phone conversation. Don't email something. This is a week where communication is so big that the confusion of communication and miscommunication will be just as big. So be very, very careful about that. And just be true to your word. Keep it clean. Let's read one bitch scope. Let's see. Whose do we never read? How about Gemini? As the planets slowly trickle out of your solar 11th house of friends, which you love, and into the 12th, you could feel a little sad and isolated, much like you have during COVID. But this is a great time to fulfill promises made to yourself and take out the garbage in your unconscious mind. Meditation can be very helpful to you to do this work until the sun is in your sign. Mars is still in your sign for another week or so. Save money and plan ahead for a possible increase in expenses when Mars moves into Cancer. Stay in touch with yourself and your thoughts as we build to your birthday season. Well, okay then. I love that for Gemini. Thank you, Kelly. So you can find her bitch scopes here. You can find them at 12listen.com and you can find them over on her website. She's just got all kinds of good stuff going on. Okay, my tip this week, just a reminder, social media is supposed to be fun. If you are not having fun, it's time to reevaluate. Now, we've talked about this before. We talked about it a lot during the election and times where things felt awfully stressful and not fun. But it's always good to reevaluate. Are you in groups that are making you unhappy? Are you following news sites that are bringing you drama and unhappiness? Are you following people that are constantly making you feel not great? If that's the case, clean it up. Clean it up. Somehow change it, right? Do something. It, to me, just means that we have to take a step back and take a look and go, I don't like seeing this stuff all the time. It actually drags my spirit down. Maybe that just means you need a lot less time on social media, right? Or maybe it just means that you need to filter what you're seeing better. It could be either or both. But I see this in my kids, in a lot of young kids around me that will take social media breaks. They'll do things like delete Snapchat from their phone for a while because they aren't feeling it. Unfortunately, social media has become a tool for bullying, but also for friend warfare. What I mean by that is posting things that you know will hurt someone else's feelings, sharing yourself doing things that someone else got left out of, things like that that maybe could be avoided or can't, maybe are on purpose or are not. But social media has added a whole new aspect of emotional connection that isn't always healthy. So, anyway, it's just a reminder, if you're having stuff come up on your social media that makes you feel like shit, why? Get rid of it. You don't have to do that. Yep. Okay. All right. A couple more things in Luminous, I think. Let's see. Caroline wrote this week about depression. Good information. Okay. Wanted to share True Crime Paranormal, what we're working on this week. And as always, you guys probably know, that I do have a podcast with Christy over on YouTube and, over really any podcasting source. But we have, gosh, we're actually putting out 7 videos a week between the two of us. We are working really hard over there. We just hit our 80,000th download on the podcast. 80,000th. That blows my mind. That's twice as many people that live in my town. it, it's so fun. We're just having a ball, but I wanted to share a couple of our episodes this week with you. And you can find it. It's True Crime Paranormal. And you can find it on really any podcasting carrier, or you can find it on YouTube. Okay, but on Monday, we covered the Jenna Holm case. The Jenna Holm case comes out of Idaho Falls, where we live. And last year, Jenna Holm got in a car accident and was having a mental health episode. And the police that responded to her accident made some large errors in protocol. And one of them was hit and killed by another police officer who drove through the crime scene going 53 miles an hour. It doesn't take a genius to look at this case and know that big mistakes were made. But rather than take responsibility for those mistakes and fix them from within and own the fact that one of their officers made an enormous error in judgment, they have charged Jenna Holm with involuntary manslaughter. She has been in jail now for almost a year, awaiting trial to face charges for the death of this police officer because he was killed while he was responding to the scene of a car accident that she was in. It's unbelievable. It's unthinkable. She is a 33-year-old mother from the Navajo Nation. She is someone who has struggled with mental health and addiction issues. And she's someone who is being wrongfully charged and detained. And it's a huge thing. And it's not getting the attention that it needs. So we covered it on our podcast, hoping that we can help give it a signal boost and help the people that are working to try to free her to get more, more money and more resources to really elevate her case. Because if the national news picked this case up and really picked it over, we suspect that it would probably be dismissed because what they're doing is so wrong. But anyway, so we covered Jenna Holm and we'll continue to cover Jenna Holm because we really want to get more attention for her and to help her because this is terrible. And then today, our case about the search for Maya Miliete broke. You guys may have heard of Maya. She is a missing mama from Chula Vista, California. She's been missing for 3 months, and it's quite the case. The evidence points so strongly towards her husband, but unless the police know a whole lot more than they're saying, it's really strange. He hasn't been charged with anything. He hasn't even been named as a suspect, but there's a lot of interesting aspects of her case. So we broke that one this week as well, or opened an investigation on our part this week. So anyway, and tomorrow we're covering someone who is known as the chameleon serial killer. And yikes. Anyway, if you're interested in true crime, make sure that you come over and listen, subscribe, follow us, and keep an eye on what we're doing there. We combine a lot of true crime with psychic readings, and it's actually really interesting and fun. And I know true crime isn't for all of you guys because it might just be a little too much for you. I know. That's intense stuff. I get it. No shame in that game either. Alrighty, so there you have it. That's most of Luminous. So hopefully you guys can find a few gems in there, some things that give you a little boost this month or this week. We do this every week. And that's what I've got there. Just looking in the chat room. Laurie said, I heard that taking calcium calcifies the pineal gland. Any thoughts? It can. Calcium can calcify in multiple places in your brain. It can calcify in your heart valves. It can calcify in your kidneys. Yeah. taking that's the problem with calcium. I mean, like for me, like I have to take calcium or I would die, because of my disorder. So there's a balance there, and that's exactly why every so often I back it off to see, do I really need all this much calcium? Because if I don't want to take it, but I do. And every time I see my endocrinologist, I say, are you worried at all about the amount of calcium I'm taking? And he says, no, your levels are perfect. You need it. And I say, I just worry about it calcifying where it shouldn't. And he's like, yeah, but you need it. So apparently that's maybe the trade off. I don't know. But yeah, you're absolutely correct about that. It can calcify in lots of places that you don't want it. So yeah, I know. Boo. But it is a good point that if you don't need calcium, you shouldn't take it. I know people sometimes that you know, are just taking a lot of random vitamins because they, think they're doing their bodies a favor. And it's true that unless your doctor has told you to take calcium, you shouldn't. It's not one to just add just for the hell of it. And if you are at the age that you're worried about osteoporosis and having a calcium supplement, you should do it with the blessing of your doctor and with labs to make sure that you're not getting too much. Because high calcium, not only can it calcify in all these places and cause you trouble, the side effects or the symptoms of high calcium are misery. Uh, Floaties in your eyes, migraines. Oh, it's bad. I promise. I've had it, and it is not fun. So, yeah, Laurie, I think it's a good point. No one should be taking extra calcium unless their doctor tells them to and monitors it. Stupid calcium. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Sid, no kidding. She says, you and Christy are to be commended for your caring efforts to bring some of the unjust, obscure cases to the public's attention. The poor woman is experiencing a legal nightmare that normally occurs in third world countries. Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. And yeah, this one, that one just pisses me off to absolutely no end because she does not deserve those charges in any way. But they've already had pretrial and it's moving forward. So there's a judge that agrees that she should be charged. You want to know what the officer got? He got 3 days of paid time off and he's right back at it. Now he's on desk duty currently until this is resolved. But should this guy be a cop anymore? No, he shouldn't. He obviously lacks the discernment needed to make good decisions. Mm. I could do this for an hour. I won't. But yep, Sid, you're right. Sid also said she has been stuck in a Groundhog Day matrix of really needing genuine downtime for brain and body. But it seems like when I accomplish or resolve an issue, a new one sprouts in its place. And I don't get to relax because I'm always in stress react mode. Yep. Somehow, some way, Sid, you're going to have to just do it anyway. And I know that's easier said than done, but I think in some capacity, you're going to have to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to stop up that leak and let this go for another day so that I can get some rest. But I know you have that adrenaline buzzing in you all the time to do and do and do and do and do. Maybe what really needs to happen is that you and your pal need to go take a night in a hotel. Right? No crisis is there. Then maybe you could just take it easy, take it slow. I know, though, it's hard to relax. But I would love to pull you a card. So, what do you get? You are getting the Gratitude Oracle. Okay. I probably laid out all of these decks for no reason because I'm going to just keep wanting to pull from the Gratitude Oracle today. I'll try not to. We'll try to be equitable around here. All right, Sid. Okay, here we go. All right, the card is Seek. It is this kind of magical looking child with an owl on his shoulder. Maybe he's like a fairy. What do you think? With an owl on his shoulder, the message is Seek. And it just makes me think for you, even in talking about that pattern for you of needing to, be able to slow down, give yourself permission to rest. And, I'm joking saying maybe you should go to a hotel, but, maybe you should. Maybe a little vacation is exactly what you need to seek some rest, to seek some peace. Maybe just blowing your house off for a few days or even a day or two would be what you need to replenish. But isn't that card gorgeous? Yeah. All right, Sid. Well, I'm going to hold space with you that you can find a way, whether it's a staycation or a getaway, that you can find a way to get some rest and get some true R&R. I know you need it. Okay, Kylie. If I can, I would love a message from my grandpa. My thoughts are getting heavy again and I need him right now. Yeah, let's tune into him, Kylie. Okay. He's so gruff and cute. It just cracks me up. He said, the the problem you've got, kid, is that you think too much. He said, always thinking and thinking. He said, judging yourself. He said, you hold yourself at a higher standard than anyone should. Yeah. I asked him what he could do to help since, obviously you're having some, rough moments right now. So what can he do to actually help? Because those are some great insights and we can definitely work with that. But what can he do to help you? So I wanted to ask him that. He said, what I can do is let her know that I'm here and I love her and I'm proud of her. She feels so helpless not being able to help Grams and know what to do or what the right thing to do is, but she's got to live her life too and quit worrying so much about what everybody else needs. She's got to quit worrying about so much about what she doesn't have and what she can't do and focus more on what she does and what she can do. So I'm going to stay close by. I'm not going to leave her side. I just want her to know that I love her and I'm proud of her, and I hope she knows that. All right. Well, there you go, sweetheart. So he's not going anywhere. Yep. That's one thing I'm hearing from him is that you feel uh, guilty, that there's nothing you can really do to help grandma, to help get her home sooner, to, or her situation, just all of it. You feel a little helpless and it sucks. And, of course you worry about her. So, and I hear you in that. You're a good kid. You're a good granddaughter, and you've been amazing for her, especially in his death. All right, sweetheart. Let's see. Maureen said, would love a card, please. I have also taken over Meg's room. She told me it better be back in order before she gets home. Oh, Meg. Oh, honey. Probably not happening. That's what I told my kids. I said, why do you think I'm going to make the house payment around here for all of these closed doors of rooms I'm not allowed to, use? Our house is too small for that, honestly. It's just not going to happen. Not that they're not always welcome at home and we can always make room, but, you know, I got to have the space. Maureen, let's pull you a couple of cards because I really want to pull one from the Gratitude Oracle, but I'm also going to pull you a card from the Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. And here's where it's really great radio because all you can hear is cards shuffling around. I know. I used to actually hesitate to use cards on radio because of that, because I don't like the dead air. But, it is what it is. There's no reason to worry. Did you guys hear my interview this week with Lisa Gonzalez? I had her yesterday on the 1 2 News show. It was so awesome. She's so great. She's so humble and real. I just love her. All right, Maureen, the card is Luna. Since we just had the full or the new moon, the primary message is the moon, feminine energy, cycles, ebb and flow, change, and the aura. The cycles and the ebb and flow, I think, are probably what is coming up for you, in really being able to use the energy of Luna and of the moon to help continue to change and further your situation. The crystal is rainbow moonstone. And then, because we can't resist, I'm also going to pull you a card from the Gratitude Oracle. Oh, I need help. I know. I get it. Okay. All right. Ooh. Oh, Maureen. Okay. The card is adventure. And this, I'll show you, but I'll tell you guys too that aren't seeing it. It looks like a fantasy animal that has horns, like some kind of like an African antelope, but it also has wings. And there are women on the back. It looks like there's a tree in the distance that is full of lit candles. There's a moon. That is a super cool card. But adventure. I think it's a good reminder for you that you need an adventure or two. And I know you have some planned this year, but don't forget just the impromptu adventures too, of maybe taking a drive or taking an overnight. I know that the world is just kind of eking open from COVID and we're still being careful, but it would be nice to see you and maybe your husband get, away a little bit, go on an adventure. Seems to be one of the things that would help you the most. Okay. All righty. Oh, Sheila said she took a 2-week break from Facebook and it felt good. Good. Oh, good. Maureen said they're heading out of town next week to Hilton Head. Wonderful. Good news. Well, there it is. The adventure your soul's been calling for. All right. Okay, Mary, I would love to pull you a card. Let's pull from Keisha's deck for you. This is her Connecting to the Universe deck. I love this deck. I used this year when I did my 12-month readings. I used this deck and they were so great. Love, love, love them. All right, Mary. Oh, it's a moon card as well. This is full moon, which we'll have here in about 12 days. Cycle is coming to completion. Don't be afraid to release what has served its purpose, surrender, and trust. I think that's a great message about just reevaluating goals, dreams, plans, friends, situations, and decide what you're keeping and if there's anything that you would like to let go. I kind of feel like there might be a person kind of in your periphery that maybe at one point was a teacher friend or a healing friend that has just really taken a path other than your own that maybe you're kind of ready to just separate from. I doubt this is someone you're super close to, but someone that occasionally comes up for you that just makes you feel a little squeamish. And it's okay to get some distance. All righty, Jane. Jane, let's do a swear spirituality and a gratitude oracle. Okay. Hey, Amber, I'm well. How are you? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in my chat in a bit, girl. I hope you're good. Okay. Okay. All righty, Jane. Okay, the swear be spirituality card. Receiving is an open and passive energy. Lean back, not forward. So allow yourself to receive, ask for the help that you need. I know you're in this situation where you're taking care of your mom and the energy of your siblings is fairly volatile. And I think occasionally you probably need to call in a little bit of help and, ask for a little assistance with her or with the house or things like that. And that it may be a little, hit and miss with the siblings, but there's a reminder there that it's okay to ask for some help. All right. But, I'm going to play a gratitude oracle card too. I also wonder if there's a message there about asking for some help to finish up the house situation back in Cali, because I'm really thinking you're going to let that one go and that you might need some help with your stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. The gratitude oracle card is reveal. Very summery scene with kind of a goddess that's surrounded in like rainbow colors and flowers and things. And yeah, there's a pond with some animals and some bunnies, a lot of animals actually. The card is reveal. This, I think, is the house situation. You've been kind of sitting on it for a while, kind of waiting for the right, answer to reveal itself. This really makes me think that you're close to that, to making that decision and figuring out exactly what the future holds for you right now. So I know you've been at mom's much longer than you thought you would be, and now you've got to decide what's coming. Quelly wants to know how many decks do Scott and I own together. I don't know. You know what happens with decks? We buy them, and then if one or the other of us don't like them or use them, or we just are done with them, I give them away. The kids' friends come over here and, ask for a card reading or ask to learn how to read cards, and I usually send them out the door with a deck. So I don't even know the answer to that, actually. Yeah, I'll have to count. I'll let you know. Well, and you guys know I had a metaphysical store, and so I had a lot of cards when we sold the store. We had sample decks open that we took with us. There were like 30 of them. So I have a bunch of those too. And I inherited decks from my mom. So I probably have 40 decks. I would say I probably have around 40. Yeah. It's not an addiction if you don't call it one. That's probably not true. Okay. Oh, yeah. Jane says 30 years of stuff. Ugh. Got it. Yeah. Amber said, I'm good. Thank you for asking. Busy work schedule. Called off today. Good for you. Oh boy, though. She said, the universe must have thought I deserved a new vehicle. My transmission went out. Oh, yikes. I'm sorry. That's never fun. Okay. Let's pull a card for Lillian. Let's see. I'm going to pull you a card from my deck, the Ground Bless Protect and Move deck. I feel like you need some inspiration to do something, that you're feeling a little stuck, a little, uninspired, that you just need something to give you a little goose, a little boost. So a little goose. That's awful, actually. I can't believe I said that. Oh, well, I said what I said. Okay. Root chakra. So doing some root chakra work. This could be yard work. It could be getting your feet in the dirt or the grass or just, the sand or wherever. This could be spending some time with trees. I feel like this absolutely has to do with being outside and just giving yourself a chance to really assimilate your energy to that of the earth. I think that probably is partly the way because this year has been a weird shakeup, and you probably need a little opportunity to just recalibrate. You've been stuck at home a lot. So do some root chakra work. Take a sea salt bath. Carry a dark stone. Like I said, get out into nature as much as you can. And let's see that root chakra just recalibrate. Mary says that's hysterical, not an addiction if you don't call it one. I stole that. It is not mine. It is from a guy on I saw a guy, it's a guy on TikTok that has what he calls the GFC. And I'm only going to say it's the Great Friends Club because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. But anyway, he's the one that says that. His whole message is you're not allowed to quit. He is talking to people who are suicidal. And he's had lots of friends commit suicide. He's a veteran. He's been through a lot. And anyway, that's where it comes from. His name is Jake Barr on YouTube and if you're or on TikTok. And if you're not easily offended, you should follow him. If you are, you really shouldn't. But Jane said, my new moon mission is clarity. So yes, you're spot on. In 2019, you told me to start purging when I returned from New Jersey to San Francisco, and I didn't heed your advice. Definitely a shift of energy today. Yeah, I know. I'm liking this shift a lot. So is my house. Okay. I think I have time for one more. Denise said, would you please pull a card for me? Struggling to feel interested in my daily job, but can't leave the job yet. Any thoughts would be welcome. Okay. I'm going to pull a card, but I don't need a card for this answer. The thing that's coming up for me, Denise, is that you really need some more hobbies, more places to put some creative energy. I think the daily job is going to continue to feel a little disinteresting, to be honest. I feel like the energy there is just shifting a little bit and the staff is shifting. I feel like you're kind of missing some of the people that you used to work with that made things a little more fun and interesting. And the people that are there now, not so much. I don't really feel like that's going to change so much. I think what's going to help you more is to find some other things that you're interested in. Go wander the craft store, browse through Etsy or Pinterest, look for things that you might want to try. Cook, set some cooking goals like, whatever you want, make a ethnic dish every week or, whatever. But look for some ways to spend your free time that is more interesting, that gets you excited about something, so that work is just the paycheck and, it's okay if it's mundane. Okay. The card I pulled is from the Gratitude Oracle, and it is the Effort card. I love that. But it's a child holding what you would think is maybe like a sparkler, but it has all of these little fairies and butterflies and elementals and stuff like that flying all around it. So anyway, I feel like for you, it is the effort of breaking out of that shell, the effort of finding things to do that make your heart sing that have nothing to do with work. All right, you guys, we've done what we do. Don't forget, I am a professional psychic advisor over at 12listen.com. You can find me over there every day. So if you need a larger reading, some energy work, some mediumship, some animal communication, or some straight up cheerleading, or, a goose like I gave Lillian today, come over there and see me. I would love to help you. You have been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the